I cannot believe, genuinely I cannot believe in 2025 that there are still people like this who are legitimately fearful for their lives because Trump is president. I mean, this is so like 2016. Truly, liberalism is a cult. At this point, if you are still like a gung-ho liberal who believes all this crap and all this woke nonsense, you are in a cult. You're in a death cult. There's no other way to put it. This is the thing with these condescending white liberal women. They think they know everything, but the only thing they know is their emotions. Because it seems to me, for the past 4 years now, the average American citizen has been used and abused by our government and put last under everyone else. The average American citizen comes after anyone who's gay or black or trans, comes after illegal immigrants who have entered this country illegally. Ukraine comes before the average American citizen. Israel comes before the average American citizen. At what point does the average American citizen get to come first? What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. If you're new around here, we discuss all things culture and politics, and in today's video, we have to react to the liberal meltdowns, the liberal tears and cries heard all around the world because, you guessed it, Donald J. Trump was sworn in as president of the United States. Actually, I was supposed to be at the inauguration. I had gotten tickets from my senator, and my husband and I literally went all the way down to DC to go, but as many know, it was moved indoors, so we were not able to actually go, which kind of sucked. Now, the liberals, on the other hand, the news that Donald Trump is officially the president of the United States, they're not taking it so well, all right? They are still in denial, and they still, for some reason, believe that Kamala Harris would have been a better president. But before we get any further, if you guys could please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. You don't have to, but you should. Be sure to follow my TikTok and other social medias in the description down below. And lastly, if you'd like to support my work, I do have channel memberships on for as low as $5 a month. So with all of that out of the way, let's drink up some liberal tears, shall we? First up on the docket.
Hey guys, everything feels really out of control and scary, and I'm really anxious. Elon Musk, did a Nazi salute for some reason. That's so scary. And Donald Trump's the president, and that's so scary. And he basically admitted to voter fraud, but we're all just kind of glossing over that. Also, if you look up, this is random, if you look up right now in the search bar on TikTok, the Taylor Swift song, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, it's all, for me at least, I'll tell you, it's all, replaced with woman, question mark. What is about to happen? I have, such, impending doom and fear, and, what is about to happen? So, I'm just laughing because I'm scared, I don't... why, I'm not understanding either why Elon Musk is involved. Isn't he not American? What is fucking going on? What is happening?
You're gonna be okay. All right, you're gonna be fine. I promise nothing bad is going to happen to you because Donald Trump is president. In fact, your life is probably about to get much better, sweetheart. I did a little investigating, and this girl is from LA. So I just find it really funny that your entire city is burnt to a crisp because of poor Democratic leadership, and you're worried about Donald Trump. The math is just, it's not mathing here, sweetheart. I mean, I cannot believe, genuinely, I cannot believe in 2025 that there are still people like this who are legitimately fearful for their lives because Trump is president. I mean, this is so 2016. The man was president before and nothing happened, okay? If anything, our country was a lot better under his leadership. Why do you think the world's gonna end suddenly this time? I don't get it. I have said this many times. I genuinely feel bad for people like this. I mean, you have to understand, right? This girl literally believes that her delusions are reality. Okay, she's genuinely crying. Bruh. She is genuinely concerned about the state of affairs in the world in relation to Donald Trump. You actually do have every right to be fearful and scared about what's going on in the world right now, because geopolitical politics and just the state of the world is at a scary place. But my girl, that's why we elected Trump. Okay, that's literally why we elected Trump, was because of the state of the world. And we all kind of were like, all right, guys, we gotta save the world. So the only person who can do that is Trump. Let's get him back into office. But I genuinely feel bad that there are people out there who have bought in to these mainstream media narratives that paint Trump in such a negative light and actually believe that's who he is, and actually believe that all of their rights are gonna get taken away. This person legitimately thinks that as a queer person, they're gonna lose all their rights. That's not happening. Like, you're gonna walk out into the world today and nothing's gonna be different. You're not just gonna walk out into the world today, now that Trump is president, and suddenly get like unalived for some reason for being who you are. Like, that's just not happening. And to be honest, there's so many people in the world right now, like those in Gaza, for example, who do live in fear like that because they could be unalived if they walk outside their house right now. I don't know what you think is going to happen to you, but I promise you, there's no need to be so upset, because it's not going to happen. Looking at it from a liberal lens, the worst thing that could potentially happen under Trump's leadership is a abortion ban, which that's literally not going to happen. I mean, Trump is much more pro-choice than people give him the credit for, which I don't love, but that's just the reality of the situation. So that's really the only threat that could be potentially legitimate from a liberal point of view. So I just don't understand like where this doom and gloom is coming from. And even if you believe all of the mainstream media lies that Trump is a convicted felon, just riddle me this. I thought liberals were the ones that wanted to liberate all of the felons and all the criminals. I thought liberals were the ones who wanted criminal justice reform. I thought liberals were the ones who were in support of all these policies, like in California, that allow criminals to just roam free because they steal for a reason. They're boosting thousands of dollars of clothes from Nordstrom because they need to feed their family. So I just don't understand why now you care about someone being a convicted felon. Oh, so now you care only because it's about someone that you don't like. If it was a black DEI person, right? Like if Kamala had a felony, oh, they'd be praising her. They would be saying that she had a felony unfairly, even though that's actually what happened to Trump, is he actually had a show trial and the case was actually bullshit. These people are all about defending the most down and out in society until those same people don't have the same views as them. Truly, liberalism is a cult. At this point, if you are still like a gung-ho liberal who believes all this crap and all this woke nonsense, you are in a cult. You're in a death cult. There's no other way to put it. And for your own well-being, I beg of you to get out now, okay? Because it's so much better on the other side over here in Freedom Land. Next.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
I'm just waiting for the disagreement to happen, because how could you possibly disagree with that?
Bruh.
Why would you not want to live in a world that's colorblind? Because, you know, liberals are so idealistic and their whole mission is to create this like woke-topia. So if that is your whole goal in life, and if that is your entire ideological philosophy, why wouldn't you want a society that's colorblind and merit-based? Is it because you think that minorities and people of color can't accomplish anything without the help of people like yourself who are white? Is it because you think minorities and people of color are too stupid and disabled to do anything on their own? You think that the only way they can accomplish anything in life is with the help of white people? Right. You guys are the racists.
It will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
To all of my trans and non-binary friends watching this, I want you to first and foremost know that me and millions of other people in this country not only recognize your existence as valid and real. But we love you. We celebrate you. And we will fucking fight for you.
What's that term? Physiognomy? The physiognomy doesn't lie. Is that the term? You know, everyone says that on X. I would just like to present my case. I don't think physiognomy lies.
This is a time where we need to not be complacent. We need to get involved. We need to rely on our communities. We need to build our communities. Not in my country, bitch. Not in my country. Our trans and non-binary people, not real. Not in my country, bitch.
Not in my country, bitch. See, here we go again. I thought liberals were all about democracy. Oh, but now it's her country. This girl who's been crying, Molly Rutter, who's been crying on TikTok, having an absolute crash out the past week because TikTok didn't pay her at the exact date and hour that she wanted them to pay her, and started begging her followers to donate money to her. She thinks that her voice matters.
Bruh.
She thinks that her voice matters in this democracy and that her voice should be louder and more important than yours or mine. This is the thing with these condescending white liberal women. They think they know everything, but the only thing they know is their emotions. If we allowed the country to be run by people like this, it would be run into the ground, bitch. I mean, let's be honest, is that not what happened the last 4 years? We did your little Democrat leadership game the last 4 years, and our country has absolutely fallen into despair. But I just find it so rich that it's all about democracy. Everybody's voice matters to the liberals until they don't get what they want. Then it's their country.
It's super gay.
It's insane.
Not in my country, bitch, is there color blindness.
What? I'm sorry, do you have a problem with that? You want people to be racist? Because I know that you guys, you liberals, think if you just say things like in a weird way with tons of big fancy words that somehow dilutes the meaning of what you're really saying. But that's just not the truth. Because I'm sorry, any good person who wasn't racist would want a society that's colorblind, would want a society where people are treated equally, okay? Where people are not given special privileges or treated poorly because of the color of their skin or their sexual orientation. Why would you not want that? Is it because you're a bad person deep down and you just don't realize it? Is that why? That's what I thought.
We acknowledge the existence of racial bias, of racial inequality, of the history of racial oppression.
Because that's really served this country and race relations really well the last few years. That's really done a lot of positive things.
Stop the cap.
In my country, we see marginalized people's struggles and we fight for them. I am sending a massive hug to all of you that were just as disturbed as I was by this piece of this disastrous speech. And now we fight, bitch, because not in my country.
Well, that's nice, sweetheart. But you know, that's just not reality. Okay, it's not reality. People of color and minorities don't need your help to be successful in life. They don't need your help because you're the white woman. They don't need the help of the white woman to accomplish things in life. If you want to have a conversation about class in our country, I can hear you out. But I'm sorry, we're not doing this because this is what these people do. They want to die on the hill that they're not racist and they love everyone and we should live in woke utopia. But at the same time, they think the only way to accomplish that is to hold the hands of anyone who isn't white. This disturbing philosophy that is basically just Marxism convinces emotionally stunted people, like a lot of liberals and like a lot of white liberal women, that the only way for any minority, a person of color to succeed is with the white person's help. And I just don't know how you can break that down and not see it as racist. I just don't know how you can do that. Maybe it's because I actually have many friends and acquaintances who are not white, and I know that they are perfectly capable and adequate and can accomplish anything they want to just as well as I can. Maybe it's because of that I understand that all of this Marxist philosophy is bullshit, but I don't know. These people truly believe, you guys, that anyone who's black, Mexican, gay, whatever, that they're handicapped. And the only way that they can level up and reach success in life is by the help of white liberal people. It's actually pathetic, and I cannot believe in 2025 there are people that are still this brainwashed and believe this crap. Okay, black people don't want your help, white lady. Okay, they don't want your help, Molly Rutter. Now the trans people, they might need your help, because that's just that. And I'm sorry, we're not doing this 25,000 genders thing anymore. Okay, we're over it. All right, almost every single American is completely and utterly over it. I mean, just the other day, insert clip here. There was shocking footage posted by libs of TikTok showing this poor human who has, I think, like cerebral palsy. They have some sort of disability, clearly, and they got transed.
Bruh.
Some evil son of a bitch did this to this poor human being. And of course this happened in my state of Minnesota, because just a reminder, you guys, if you voted for Tim Walz, this is the type of policies that you would have ended up with. Tim Walz thinks that it's okay for doctors to cut off the genitalia of people who are disabled because they're trans. This should be a human rights violation as far as I'm concerned, okay? And this is what happens when you let the whole gender ideology thing run wild. If you understand even a little bit about Marxism and color revolution, you understand that's exactly what all of this woke stuff is, okay? It was done on purpose to destroy the very last thread of our American society, and it works. And that's why all of us are so happy that Donald Trump is president again, because as seen in this clip, he is restoring law and order again. No, boys can't be girls and girls can't be boys. No, you guys know how I feel about the trans thing. If you want to be trans when you're 18 and you think that you're whatever, do your thing, go off, okay? I really don't care. But when it goes so far as to literally allow teenagers, children who have very obvious, serious disabilities to have their genitals cut off. That's what we're not going to do. We're not doing that anymore. And that's exactly why the American people have spoken and said, Donald Trump, fix this, please. Moving on.
It is not over for Kamala. And all of you celebrating a Trump victory before the votes are even fully counted, may I remind you that a lot can change at the last minute.
Yeah. We know what this feels like, but
even if we do fail to win the presidency for Kamala, after all the work I've done for white dudes for Kamala over the last few months, we will return in 2028. Kamala 2028 will be the greatest political comeback the world has ever seen. Not just America, but the world.
Sorry, buddy, but Donald Trump already did that. Yeah, Donald Trump will have the world record for best political comeback, best comeback of all time for the rest of his life. Nobody has had a more iconic comeback than Donald motherfucking Trump. And that is exactly why so many of us love Trump and resonate with him, because he has the greatest comeback story of all time. He is the underdog, and so many of us resonate with that story. Donald Trump had everyone against him. Okay, everyone. The man almost took a bullet for this country. And through it all, he remained positive, he remained focused, and he came out on top. And so many Americans relate to that story. And that's just one of the many reasons why we adore him so much. You guys might know my story. Hello, also a convicted felon here. I used to live a life of crime. That's how I lived for a long time. When I decided to get sober and completely change my life around, it was hard. I was fighting court cases. Nobody believes in you. Everybody doubts you. They have every reason to in my case, but you know that you're going to come out on top. And when you finally do get that sweet victory and you're doing better than you've ever done before, it's a very, very humbling experience. You know, so many people in America have similar stories, and that's just why Trump is the OG. It's the one and only Double G. And Kamala could never. Why are we even entertaining this idea?
And I firmly believe that Kamala is still the best person in the whole of the United States to be the president of this country. And if we band together now, if we pull back some of those white dudes who went for Trump this time, by growing the White Dudes for Harris campaign, we can make a permanent change. We can put the MAGA crowd away once and for all.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. MAGA's here to stay, all right? We're not going anywhere. When we voted Donald Trump in, we voted with a message, all right? We are not going back. We came to save America. We are not going back to whatever the hell, if you're still living in the delusion, the last 4 years under Biden and Kamala were like the golden years of America. I don't know how to help you. In fact, you can't be helped. You're a lost cause. And respectfully, I'm just going to ask you to like sit it out on politics for the rest of your life until you can finally come to understand why Donald Trump is like one of the best presidents of our modern era and why he was the perfect man for the job at this point in time.
And I'm dispirited. I am dispirited by what has happened, but we can't just give up. We can't just stop now. It's so close. It was so close.
It wasn't close. It wasn't close, sweetheart. It wasn't close at all. Trump dominated Kamala. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, okay? Trump won. Trump won and you know it. The fake news will never show it. 'Cause Trump won and you know it.
There's just so much hate in this country. So much hate and misinformation from Elon. And this, we've got to fight back. We've got to fight back. Kamala 2028. We're coming back.
Kamala 2028, let's go. She would get less votes than she did in the primary from like years ago. I mean, obviously, I think this is like a troll. I hope to God this video is a troll. But it's funny nonetheless because it speaks truth to the delusion that a small subsect of America still believes. There is still like 3 Kamala supporters out there crying, Kamala 2028. Like, you know that's out there. Probably like 4 of them in the whole country, but she'll probably get 4 write-ins next election. There is legitimately something wrong with you if you still think that Kamala had any chance, A, and B, was the right fit for this country. Kamala is the epitome of DEI hire. She is the epitome of why Miss Crash Out Molly Rutter from the last video, her philosophy on race relations and whatnot does not work in America and does not work in capitalism. And if you still, again, if you still believe that Kamala was right for this country, then, now, in the future, or ever, you should probably just not vote. Like, next up on the docket.
Why can't Lawrence Sanchez show a little cleavage at the inauguration? Trump's seen a boob or 2 in his day. What does it matter? Who cares? She went to an event. She has boobs. It doesn't matter. We can't live in a world where we pretend we're going to let everybody be who they are and then not. Like, wear what you want. Do what you want to do. Not to mention that your fiance is Jeff Bezos. It feels like he who makes the gold makes the rules. She can wear whatever the hell she wants. She can wear a gorilla suit in there if she wants, but she looks hot. So get off her jock and her teat. Janice Jackson popped a tit at the Super Bowl. We all survived.
I mean, the reality of the situation is, yes, she can wear whatever she wants, but should she? No. Hurrah! I'm sorry. When you go to the presidential inauguration, and I don't care who is the president, when you go to basically the most prestigious event you can go to, you need to have a little bit more decorum, okay? Have some respect for the country, for the commander-in-chief, for tradition. This is exactly the problem with the do whatever you want attitude, is people have no respect or mindfulness about them, okay? Do you know how many children were watching the presidential inauguration on TV? Probably a lot. The only people who have kids in this country are patriots, and those parents are probably wanting their children to watch history being made. So to have children probably all over the country looking up at the TV and seeing boob, lots of it, it's just trashy. And if you want to roll with the big dogs and the big leagues, then you need to have a little bit more class, all right? Like, what, you just want to show it off like it's for sale or something? Like, I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. No, actually, I don't want to live in a country where it's perfectly acceptable and encouraged to have your boobs out, to have your tits out on national television on the most prestigious, respectable day of the year. No, I don't want to live in a country like that. There are so many ways to look attractive and even emit like sexiness to some extent without literally just showing it off. I mean, look at Melania, okay? I don't know if Miss Sanchez thought that she was gonna like outdo this, But not gonna happen, sweetheart. Melania said and emitted more vibe from covering up basically her entire body down to her eyes than you, Miss Sanchez, ever could by having your entire rack out. Funny enough, when you look at the comments on Bethany's video, nobody agrees with her. So that is a good culture gauger, in my opinion. This is the year of shutting down hoes, okay? Shutting down OnlyFans whores, shutting down feminism and ultra sexuality in society. Like, we're done with this, okay? We are bringing back decorum and class in this country. And if you want to be trashy, you're going to be the minority again. It's not just that it's distasteful. There's a reason why we have standards in society. There's a reason why the Bible makes so much sense, and that's why we follow the Bible in American society. Because, yeah, kids can see that. Not only is that terrible for young kids and young men to see, it promotes terrible values to young women as well. Oh, if I want to marry a successful billionaire, I have to be a slut. That's what that says. If you want to get into important rooms with the president of the United States, you have to show your boobs. Hurrah! That is a terrible message to send, and it does not represent the era, the golden age that we're moving into. So no, Bethany, it's not just do whatever you want. Show your tits because they look good. That's exactly what we're trying to move past. All right, you guys, I just have a couple more clips in honor of President Trump's 47th presidential inauguration. And they're not necessarily like woke TikToks, but some are still woke in nature. And in my opinion, must be discussed. So let's take a look.
On his first full day in office, President Donald Trump attended a church service like no other. Episcopal Bishop Morianne Booty delivered a fiery sermon on mercy, addressing the treatment of migrants and the LGBTQ community.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives.
Her words echoed through the sanctuary, challenging the president himself.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
Her call for compassion left some stunned, others enraged. Republicans and Trump supporters condemned the sermon, calling it an inappropriate attack. But to others, it was a bold stand for justice.
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I didn't think it was a good service, no. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
I'm sorry, do we believe in the same God? Because the God that I believe in, the Lord of Heaven's armies, the King of Kings, Jesus Christ Almighty, we don't do women archbishops. We don't do women bishops. We don't do women anything.
It's super gay.
So that's one thing. For one, I'm sorry. I don't know how you can claim to love God and literally directly disobey his orders. But also, where in the Bible does it say that it's a good thing to be gay and trans? I'll wait. Again, you guys know, I'm not out here trying to tell anyone how to live their life. You can do whatever you want. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. The religion I follow says that it's wrong. Okay, so I believe that, but I'm never gonna go out of my way to tell someone who's gay or trans that they're sinning and they're going to hell. Like, that's not my place. That's between you and God, okay? In fact, I'll never even bring it up. My best friend is gay. That's not what Christians are called to do. But to be in a false position of power within the church as a female, and then on top of it, push more of this propaganda that goes completely against God and his word is beyond insulting. God does call us to have mercy and to have grace and to give forgiveness. He does do that. And I do think that that is a good message to have. But I'm sorry. At what point does the average American citizen get to have some mercy, get to have some grace, some forgiveness? Because it seems to me, for the past 4 years now, the average American citizen has been used and abused by our government and put last under everyone else. The average American citizen comes after anyone who's gay or black or trans, comes after illegal immigrants who have entered this country illegally, that we, the average American citizen, are funding their lives. Ukraine comes before the average American citizen. Israel comes before the average American citizen. At what point Does the average American citizen get to come first? Where's our mercy? Because in my opinion, we've been putting up with it for far too long. This is not the message of the times right now. And I know that this woman, she really thinks she did something with all that. All right. She really thought she did something, but she didn't. All she did was reinforce why the people voted in Donald Trump. I can speak for the average American citizen because I am the average American citizen. We are sick and tired of being beaten and abused by our government and people in positions of power. We're tired of it. It seems to me that the average American citizen is funding everybody else's lives before our own. And it's getting to a point now where we cannot afford to keep doing that. If anyone deserves some mercy, it's Donald Trump and the average American citizen. We're sick and tired of coming last. Because at what point do you guys realize without us, the rest of y'all can't eat? The rest of y'all can't do anything without us, apparently. So show some respect, have some decorum, and put some respect on our name. Honestly, that's probably the last service that you'll ever be preaching. Honestly, you really need to go and sit with God and genuinely reflect on your life, because I don't know if we are believing in the same God here. Because nothing about what you're preaching, what you stand for, reflects Christianity or Catholicism. Next. So in the spirit of Inauguration Day, I figured we could just take a look at a pretty sick edit of Donald Trump and his story. And of course, as I've mentioned, I am a felon, so I relate to Trump in ways that I feel a lot of people don't quite. I relate to Trump in a very different way than most people, and that's fine. I just saw this video and I thought it just perfectly encapsulated everything about Trump and the MAGA energy. So let's just take a look and end on a good note, shall we?
Donald J. Trump, 78 years old, 6'3", 215-pound Republican. Code name, the Felon, the 45th and 47th President of the United States. He's back.
That's right. He's back, bitches. Donald Trump is back. He's back with a felony under his belt. He's back with a survived assassination attempt under his belt. And he's back and better than ever, okay? Donald Trump has been accomplishing more in the last 4 days since he got into office than I feel like President Biden did at all in his last 4 years in office. He has visited North Carolina, California, signed like over 70 something executive orders. This man is on fire. And I know we're on like a real high note here, and I just said I wanted to end the video on a good note, but I just want to take a second here to say that this is not the time to stop praying for Trump. In fact, now more than ever, we need to be praying for Trump like a lot. Donald Trump, in some ways, is too good for this earth, in my opinion. I know he's not perfect. Oh, he's in bed with Israel. Yes, I agree. Okay, I don't like the whole jab situation. I don't love the Israel situation. But to be honest, I don't think any of you could do what Donald Trump does, all right? And at some point, we need to just take the wins as we get them. When you look at these videos of Trump visiting the North Carolina victims and the fire victims in California, I honestly think this man might be a real life angel. These people, the way they look at him and what he's doing to help them is so touching that it was actually making me cry this morning. So we need to pray for Trump. I think in some ways he's too good for this world. This arc and this era of Trump is very much reminiscent of the JFK era. And while that's amazing, and I feel so blessed to be living in this period of history, it's also a bit scary, right? Because the powers that be do not like that MAGA energy. No, they don't. They don't like the felon. They don't like him. They will stop at nothing to get their way. So it's very important that we pray for Trump and that we don't let up on our spiritual protection of him, because while he's not perfect, he's the best we have. And I think we are very lucky and blessed to even have him. So don't y'all ever forget, Donald Trump walked so that the next person could run. I really think we're going to have a serious conservative shift in the next few years. I think we're going to move even further right than we are right now. And we have to thank Donald Trump for that. So keep Trump in your prayers for sure. Well, that that is all I have for you guys today. What do you guys think about all of this inauguration stuff? Do you have any words of encouragement for the crying liberals who cannot seem to accept that Donald Trump is president? Be sure to leave them some words of encouragement in the comments down below. Drop this video a like if you enjoyed it, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And I will see you guys in another video soon. And remember, God bless you and God bless the USA, baby. Bye, guys.